Ew, a crab apple's flesh.
Ew.
It's perfectly safe for people to eat. But like other apples, the seeds contain a toxic compound that can turn into cyanide when eaten.
Oh.
Do regular apples do that? I know you're not supposed to eat it, but like, it can turn into cyanide?
I didn't know that.
That's
scary. I think you can eat them, but don't they say like you should limit
I don't fucking
eating
know.
that?
What happens when I eat apple seeds? Ooh, small amounts of cyanide.
Interesting.
Which is highly toxic.
What a way to murder somebody.
What the fuck? Jeez, I feel like my kids will accidentally eat a seed once, though. So I'm just going to make sure I always cut them up. I just feel like that's something my fucking kids would do.
Oh. Just out of spite.
Seeds. What's this? That's Lila lately. She's like, huh. Fucking eat it. I'm like, she didn't have that phase as a baby.
Yeah.
But now as a 3-year-old, she's like, I'm going to eat some sand.
Oh.
I'm like, drives me fucking crazy. Can apple seeds kill you? Oh, it takes quite a few of them. Only if they've been crushed. What does that matter? What if you chew it?
Oh, so maybe you I accidentally swallowed an apple seed.
Yeah.
You'd be okay.
I don't know.
Maybe it just doesn't digest well, or you just didn't
No, it
activate
turns poisonous.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
This
is almost as crazy as finding out that popcorn doesn't come from just the corn. Just normal corn.
Right.
I had great corn the other day.
Oh, good.
Let me tell you. And I tried a piece of corn raw.
And how was it?
Juicy.
Oh, good.
It was good.
Yeah, did you get from the stand?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it was nice and fresh avocado. It was so good. Mm-hmm. Lincoln and Lila wanted to try it raw, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to try it too. And it was juicy. It just tasted like corn without some butter. I was like, it was pretty good.
That's not bad.
Not at all. Oh,
The
we should
more you
start,
know.
shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot we didn't do our intro.
We did it. Okay. Okay, hold on. I look crazy.
I look pale.
I need to tan more. I don't know. Okay, ready?
Yes.
Welcome
To
Those Two Chicks with a Podcast. I'm Jordan.
I'm Emma.
And we're here.
Welcome.
Welcome.
To.
Just loop it. Keep going. We're talking about apples today. And they can kill you.
Can you
Death.
imagine?
How are you?
Good.
Good. A lot going on.
A lot going on.
Life's going to be crazy for
Yeah.
everybody. I mean, Emma has big things coming. I don't know if you want to
Yeah. We're moving.
Fast.
So you have 3 more podcasts
In this room.
in this room.
Aw. Where the great memories were made.
Yep.
Getting hit in the head with the sound thing. The ghost that lives in this house.
Right.
What else was I going to say? Mm-hmm. Oh, and I don't know. My kids are starting school soon, so I feel like I'm going to be like, my brain's not going to be here. But then once they do start school, I feel like my brain will be better. Because they're going to be gone all week.
Right.
From 8 to 3.
Right.
So, there's that.
Time flies.
You know what I found out?
Yes.
Okay, so you know how I recommended that podcast last week?
Yeah.
Ghosted? Mm-hmm. So good. Can't stop listening to it. She's from Grand Rapids.
What?
I know. And I called Jacob because, he did drag for a little bit.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I was like, do you know this person? But she was before his time. Like, he moved up to Grand Rapids. We moved 2015.
Yeah.
And Roz was around back in, 2009 to 2012.
Oh.
So he didn't. But, I found out because they were talking about the Ada Witch.
Yeah.
And then Roz was like, it's from near my hometown of Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I was like, what the fuck? Isn't that crazy?
Oh my gosh, it's actually amazing.
I know.
I didn't realize that.
Wow, we have a celebrity. I don't know. I was really excited because I fucking love Roz.
Maybe one day we'll be on the podcast.
Oh my God, Roz. I have a ghost story.
Yeah?
I never told you about the creepy house I lived in when I was younger. And I think triggered major anxiety for me.
No.
Okay, probably because I blocked it out so much. So I lived in this house on Arbor Street that's by Mighty Midget, right? And by the cemetery.
Oh.
So it was close to the middle school. I'd walk home. But we lived there it was before middle school. I think we lived there when I was probably in like 2nd or 3rd grade up to like 6th grade.
Okay.
Ish. Probably less time. I don't fucking know. But I was little. And the upstairs and the basement were creepy as fuck. It was an older house. The basement it was a Michigan basement, but it had like, there was a room off to the side here, a room in the middle, and then like an electrical, like mechanical room right here.
Okay.
Still like concrete floors, but they had like wood panels to like finish the sides. This room over here was like a kid's playroom, and it had like a chalkboard in it, and there were like old toys in it that like we didn't move there. They were just left there. It was creepy. Why are you laughing?
I hate that.
It just gave me really bad vibes. Like even as a kid, I just had like really, really bad vibes. I probably didn't think of it as bad vibes then, but I just had that feeling.
Second grader.
Give me bad vibes. I don't know. It was just weird, and I started to have like really bad nightmares and like sleep paralysis kind of shit in that house.
Yeah.
Me and Jenna's room was upstairs. Huge room. It had a weird vanity like in the corner. Like it was just like a counter with a mirror. And then a huge closet that had a crawl space in it. That was fucking scary. Like, it just looked like the Grudge was going to crawl out of it at any second. It was a creepy as fuck house. For real. And then, like, a bathroom next to it that we never used because it just was, like, unused. It was an old house, and my parents were trying to fix it up, and they weren't very good at that. So then Jacob was across the hall, but he went off to college. So there was, like, no one in his room. It was scary. And so, like, I couldn't sleep. So I'd go sleep on my parents' floor. And I'm sure this was just, like, in my head. But I feel like I remember I'd have to put, like, a blanket.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't see under their bed because I kept thinking I saw eyes under the bed.
Ugh.
I know. And so, anyway, so here's where I get to kind of, like, the ghost story. So I was home alone. I think I was sick that day. So everybody else was gone at work except for my dad. He was, like, outside working. I was it had like 2 family rooms. So there's this family room over here that had the stairs going up.
Okay.
So it led to upstairs. I heard fucking whistling coming from upstairs. I don't know why I've never talked about this because I remember that, but I like in my head I was like, did Jacob was still living there at the time, but he was at school. And I was like, well, did he leave like his video game on? Because you know how sometimes in The Sims like they'll like make noises and whistle.
Yeah.
So I went up to his room and nothing was on. And I was so scared, and I went outside to my dad, and I cried. But I had the worst fucking anxiety in that house, and I remember thinking in my head all the time that I was going to be possessed.
That's awful.
I know.
It did stop right away when you moved?
And I never had thoughts like that again. And I didn't have to sleep with anybody else again.
Probably was because
No.
how young you were, too. They
I
always
know.
say kids notice more things than adults when it comes to paranormal.
I just never really thought about it. And, like, from then on, I avoided the upstairs and I avoided the basement. I didn't go anywhere other than the main floor. I know.
I hate that.
I just never really thought about that.
Yeah.
No, I kind of blocked those years out.
I mean, I get it.
I mean, my anxiety, though, at that point as a kid was so bad. Like, my parents had to take me to get an MRI because I had, like, a panic attack and I thought everything was going numb. So they gave me an MRI and no one knew it was anxiety. They were just like, oh, nothing's wrong with her. And my parents were like, oh, she's just annoying. She just has fucking issues.
It was a different time back then.
But I had fucking anxiety for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. I did not like that house.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't even know that.
No, I was just thinking about it while I was listening to that podcast. I was like, yeah, that was fucking weird.
So you were there until middle school.
Ish.
And then did you move to the house that I know?
No.
Okay,
moved so many
you
fucking
went somewhere
times in there.
else?
Yeah, we moved like probably like 4 different times before I moved to that. No. 3 different times before I moved to that house.
Okay. So I've only been to that one.
No,
I went
like
to that one. I went
That
to the
definitely
other one
wasn't
that was by like the police station.
Oh, yeah, fuck, I forgot about that
Yeah,
house.
you guys were
Because
there.
I hardly lived there because they moved in while I was, snot my nose, going to cosmetology school.
Yeah.
And then I moved back for a couple of months and then went to Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
That house was kind of creepy, too, but I didn't get ghost vibes. It was just, like, old and weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens.
So, anyway, sorry, I talked for a long time.
No, that was interesting.
Thinking about it.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Good thing you have therapy today, right?
I do.
Okay, you can.
Yes.
So,
I do. 3 o'clock. I'll see you later, Renee.
By the way, as I talked about something that was really traumatic.
Yeah, so I saw ghosts.
For the podcast.
Oh, I fucking can't. Do you want to go first with your fun facts?
Sure. All right, fun facts.
Fun facts with Emma.
Welcome to Fun Facts with Emma.
Thank you.
I'm your host, Emma.
Oh.
So, how I found this fun fact.
Okay.
Weird. Okay.
No one thinks these things are weird anymore. It's just Emma. Everyone's like, what do you mean weird? This is how it happens every week.
I wanted to give you, like, Michigan fun facts.
Oh,
like,
fun.
some really weird things.
Yeah.
Then I found a fun fact. I'm like, what? So I couldn't just read you any other ones.
Yeah.
We're only going to talk about this one.
Okay.
So, apparently, there are some locals in Wynn, Michigan,
Okay.
and they believe that their community has a corn monster. Michigan has a corn monster.
Okay. I love this already.
So, this monster is described as a large, dark, dirty
Piece of corn.
creature. No, I wish
That
though.
would be the best
That
if it was
would
just
be.
a big corn.
It would be awesome.
Yeah.
That has 2 legs and lives in the cornfields. Basically, I think this is their Bigfoot dupe.
Okay.
Like, I think,
Bigfoot dupe.
I think it's a dupe. For Bigfoot.
Okay.
They couldn't afford Bigfoot.
It was just a Bigfoot who has
corn monster.
a corn obsession.
But it's been reported that this corn monster was seen emerging from corn stalks and scaring people who drive down the dirt road of West Co Road in Isabella County.
That's like all he did. He was just trying to scare them.
Yeah.
He was just like, hooka pooka.
Want some corn?
I'd be scared if I saw a giant corn just running around.
Right?
Woo.
That's more
I
terrifying.
know.
I love this. So you remember, you probably know, the Schwan Man?
Mm-mm.
You don't know Schwan Man?
No. Who's
Okay.
the Schwan Man?
So the ones that don't know.
Is that the meal
Jordan.
delivery service?
Yes!
Okay, yeah.
The Schwan Man.
I thought that's what I had in my head, but I'm like, couldn't be that.
Well, it's not called the Schwan Man. I'm sure there's, like, Schwan.
I heard they have good
Women.
ice cream.
Yeah.
That's what I
My
heard.
grandma gets Schwan.
Oh, my husband's papa gets Schwan now, I think.
Oh, yeah. So Schwan is a food delivery service. I don't really know.
It's for like elderly people mostly, or disabled people, or people who can't get out of
Yeah.
their house, and they bring them meals.
Well, I would say so, but my mom had the Schwan Man a couple times come to our house. Because she met him at the museum. I don't really know, but my mom's not disabled.
Well,
At the time.
well. Call your mom right now. Call your mom and ask her. Is that?
Well, I would, but I think maybe Cal might be sleeping.
Oh shit. Okay. Well,
We'll update you next week.
old or disabled.
We'll see why we had the Schwan.
I thought it was. I didn't know it was. Anybody could order it.
I don't know.
Sorry if you've gotten Schwan before and you're not either old or disabled. Mary. Don't even tell her about that. Just wait till she hears it.
Hey. So there was a Schwan Man who occasionally drove down that road, and the locals would warn him about the corn monster. And he admitted that he occasionally felt that something tried to reach out of the corn at his truck if he was driving down the road at night.
Ew.
However, in 2003, at 2 p.m., he pulled his truck over along the side of the road so he could eat his lunch. And when he was done, he proceeded to step out of the truck so he could stretch his legs before getting back on the road. And that's when the creature appeared from the corn and stood 5 feet away from him. He described the corn monster as unexplainable, dark, dirty, and man-like.
Ew.
He said he screamed, ran back in his truck, and drove away as fast as he could, all while the creature just stared at him until he was out of sight.
What if it's just a local who's like, I just want to freak people out, and he just gets some dirt
It
on him?
has to be. I just don't get it. I'm looking up Schwan Man.
Also, like, each time you say the Schwan Man, it sounds like it's just one guy. Like, one guy
Yeah.
does it all.
Schwan's home delivery.
For disabled and elderly.
I don't know if it is. No.
No. My bad.
It doesn't say anything about
Sorry.
variety food.
It doesn't say Schwan for the old and elderly.
No, it just says Schwan's home delivery.
Is it Schwan or Swan?
Schwan. But they have a swan.
Schwan.
That's what's confusing. They have a swan, but they're the Schwan.
Interesting. Okay.
That should
It's
be
a
my
swan, but the Schwan.
Yeah. Because I always thought it was a Schwan Man. And my mom goes, it's Schwan.
Well.
I forgot it,
She
right?
would know.
Yeah, I don't think this is for the elderly or disabled. I think anyone can afford.
Sorry.
Maybe I should Google that.
Well,
like,
also,
is it
like,
specific?
I don't think they're known for, like, their delicacies. So, like, why not just go buy some frozen meals at the grocery store then if you're not elderly or disabled? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
But they were really big in, like, the mid-90s.
They were, yeah.
And I think, they're still around,
Maybe it was just, like, the cool thing. Like, it was, like, their DoorDash.
Yeah.
So it was like,
they are,
that.
like, the HelloFresh, the every plate.
Except it wasn't fresh.
No, it was
frozen.
Frozen.
But they got to take what they can get in the 90s.
So,
2000s.
this is sponsored by Schwan.
Schwan.
Can you imagine? Our first sponsorship
Oh my God,
is
Schwans! We're going to bring them back.
We are.
We'll pitch some new ideas. I really think they should focus on the elderly and disabled, but we can branch out. Think of some other ideas. It'll be fine.
Oh, God.
Okay.
That's my fun fact. That's all I got.
That was good. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
And this is What Did Jordan Find Online?
What is it this time?
For my What I Found Online,
Yes.
I'm going to give you a new side hustle.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a way for you to make thousands a day.
Okay.
Okay? Thousands. Think of the possibilities. We're going to do AI lives. NPC lives.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of them?
No.
Okay. Taking over TikTok.
Okay.
Okay, let me show you.
Now for the part I'm here for.
This is how an NPC live goes.
Oh.
Gang gang. Ice cream so good, thank you, Jackie. Gang gang, gang gang, gang gang. Oh, special. Gang gang, rah rah rah. Gang gang, gang gang. Balloon.
Do you like it?
Fire.
I hate it. What is that?
So, the whole premise of the AI NPC live. Do you know what an NPC is?
Yeah.
Okay. For those who don't, it's a non-player character, whatever. So it's like the characters in a video game that you can't play. That's kind of self-explanatory. Anyway, so what these people do is they act like an AI character or like a video game character. Like they like move like this, okay?
Oh, yeah.
They go like this.
Okay.
And then they'll go So the way you can make money on TikTok lives is people send gifts. So anytime that this girl is getting a gift, she has like a saying for it. So like if you send an ice cream, she'll go, ice cream, yum. Ice cream, yum. And then if she gets roses, she goes, smells good. Smells good. And she'll just do it over and over and over. And people just keep sending her shit. And there'll be one, like, if you get the cowboy hat, she'll go, yeehaw, feel like a cowgirl, yeehaw. And then sometimes they'll glitch, they'll be like, smells like roses. Did I do good?
Yeah, you did.
Thank you.
So,
People are making thousands of dollars a day. And it has taken TikTok by storm, honey. Everyone's doing it. Everyone's like, if you know me in real life, block me because I'm about to do an AI live.
oh.
And people have shown their payout, and it'll be like $800 and they went live for like 2 hours.
I think you should do this.
No.
Just give it a try.
Pass.
I just want to see what happens.
Should we do it on our TikTok? We'll do it together.
The
Okay,
worst
show me
part-
your hands. Do the hands. Get your...
The worst part.
You look like you're doing the robot.
The worst part is I think we would be confused.
Yeah.
We would get confused.
Well, we would have to learn
we would.
all the things.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of different gifts.
Yes. Oh, thank you, baby. You got me feel like a queen. Oh, daddy, you got me the car I wanted. Yes, this is my car now. Oh, firework. What a beautiful day for you and me.
That sounds a little sexual. Oh, Daddy, thank you. Could you imagine us doing that? Thank you, Daddy. I love you, Daddy. That's what I do. We should come up with our own sayings. Yes. We'll come up with our own sayings and we'll do it. So there you go, everybody. That's what I found online. It's a new side hustle for us all to try.
And that's when we get canceled as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
probably.
Wait, what's her name from the podcast that you're obsessed with right now?
Roz.
Roz will look at me and be like,
no. I think Roz will love the hustle. I think Roz would think we're hilarious. Especially if we're going, do the roar. Do the roar. Gang, gang. Do the roar. I think Roz would love us.
But dressed up as
I'll email her.
Too.
I'll email her and be like, can you watch our podcast? Do you think we're funny or not? And then she'll just rip us to shreds.
Right.
But in a funny way. We'll laugh about it.
And then we'll cry.
Yeah. We'll be
then
like,
we'll both
then
go
later we'll be like,
day?
was that actually funny? Or was she making fun of me? Yeah, so that's what I found online today.
Interesting.
Well, not today, but I don't know.
I'm gonna go on TikTok tonight. I see you on there. you and Lucas.
Oh my God! Could you imagine if I got Lucas to do it? It'd be bad.
What if secretly
He'd go,
Lucas was
yes,
doing
Daddy.
this?
I feel like a cowgirl, Daddy.
Lucas is secretly doing this.
Watch us actually make like $1,000 though.
Right.
And then I'd take us out for lunch. A really nice lunch. That's what I do with the money. Maybe we could go bowling too.
I love that.
I think we'd have fun.
Yeah.
And then we'll do it live from the bowling alley and make another 1,000. And then we'll go see a movie.
We'll be all set.
And we'll just go gang gang. It's fun. You know what else I was going to tell you?
What?
Costco had the egg bites back from Starbucks.
Nice.
So I gobbled them up.
You know what Costco has on right now?
What?
I'm not going to get it. I'm going to have some self-control.
Is it furniture?
No.
Oh. They have great furniture lately. That's why I was like, because you're moving. I was like, furniture?
Like, I can't help myself when I see a couch.
Oh my God, I love that!
Gotta buy it.
It's pleather.
It's going to be mine.
It'd go perfectly with my decor.
Turns out we have 10 couches.
We can't get another storage unit, Emma.
Oh, yeah. No.
My face is getting red so hot in here.
So
I
bad.
can't laugh like that.
Okay. The bakery section.
Oh.
It's a 4-pound chocolate peanut butter pie.
Oh, no.
But it
That makes
sounds,
the top of my mouth go.
But it looks so...
Does it?
It looks so good.
I didn't go to Costco. I had my mom pick it up for me, but she brought my kids, and they haven't been since they were, like, really little, so they don't really, like, remember it. They had a heyday.
Oh,
they
I'm
had
sure.
so many samples.
Sure they
And
did.
ice creams this big. I don't know why I went that like that. That big. You know how big their ice creams are.
Yeah.
I'm sure they didn't eat the whole thing, but they fucking loved it. They couldn't stop talking about Costco. I'm like, well, you'll love Auntie Emma then. That's her favorite place. Oh, fucking love it.
Oh, God, that's awesome.
Well, on a depressing note.
True crime.
It's True Crime Day.
Dun, 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 dun. Boom.
Oh, how long are we gonna keep it going? Okay,
Oh,
sorry,
God.
I'm done. So, you go first.
Okay. I need some, like, old-timey music playing.
I was gonna sing you some, but I can't think of anything.
Future Emma added in. I'm going to tell you about a murderer named Mary Piercy. Or Percy. Percy or
I
Piercy.
just pulled off one of my nails.
Ooh, that sounded like it hurt. Yeah, I don't know. It's all these old-timey murderers named
They're
Mary.
always Mary! Oh,
My mom.
Mary murdered the Schwan guy. That's why they stopped doing
knew
deliveries.
I knew it.
He goes, you're not older than disabled. And she went, schwack! Take that, Schwan!
Give me my Popeye.
Don't you question why I need this Popeye.
So Mary Percy was born Mary Eleanor Wheeler. And she was born in 1866 in England.
Wow.
Da, 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 da. Mary's father was Thomas Wheeler, who was convicted and hanged for the murder of Edward Anstey.
Her dad was a murderer? Took me a second to process that.
Yeah.
Runs in the family.
That's what a lot of people don't know of, like, is there a connection or what happened? So there's little known of Mary's childhood. So her father's execution was when she was 14 years old.
Oh, so she was old enough to...
I'm sure that took effect on her.
Yeah.
But I do have a quote of what she looked like when she was arrested at 24.
Okay.
This was written in the late 1800s, so, like, the wording might stand out.
Okay.
She stood at 5 feet 6 inches tall, with lovely russet hair and fine blue eyes. She was of normal build and had nice shapely hands. Her face was not overly pretty, but she seemed to have no difficulty in attracting men. I do have a photo of Mary. I think maybe it was just a bad photo day.
Well, they did say she's not overly... Ah! Oh my God.
I think she just wasn't ready.
That looked like a Halloween decoration.
I think she just wasn't ready for the camera. I think she was caught off guard.
I'm sorry. I'm being really mean. Show me her again. Jesus Christ!
I just think it wasn't a good photo. I'm sure she didn't have a problem attracting men.
It was probably the shapely hands. Because it wasn't the face. Sorry.
Okay, so anyway.
Okay.
Mary Wheeler became Mary Percy from John Charles Percy. I'm like crying. I just feel tears coming down.
You are. I see them.
I'm okay. From John Charles Percy, and he was a carpenter with whom she had a relationship in her late teens.
Okay.
They never married, and he left her because of her infidelity. Mary
It's
would...
always the ugly.
Just imagine your face is like that 24/7.
I'm telling you guys.
It's just like, he's like, Mary?
I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to be mean, but she was like, like, she looked like a murderer. She was spooky. Literally, it was like, put her face next to my face, quick. It was like this.
I can't.
But like
Like
bad.
I just imagine your face is like that
He's so
24/7.
fucking mean, dude. I'm being so mean. I'm sorry. But
Well,
she's a murderer, and
We'll be in hell. It's
she's
all
gonna
right.
fucking haunt us, dude.
Just ignore the
Not like
tears.
I'm much to look at, but
Ignore the tears.
at least I'm not a married person.
All right. So, Mary would keep his last name, and a lot of historians believe that she probably took his name in the first place, so it wasn't her father's.
Okay.
Because they were never married. She just took his
I
name.
wonder what her dad looked like.
I don't know. Like that.
Imagine.
They're twins. Did she just rip off another nail?
Yeah. Feels good.
That's weird. What did I... Okay. Other people made note that Mary suffered from depression and drank heavily.
Oh.
So I think she was going through a lot here.
Sorry, Mary.
She then got involved with a furniture remover named Frank Hogg. And now Mary fell for Frank because he had printed business cards.
It doesn't take much.
No.
How fancy. How fancy.
Frank had another lover, though.
Oh.
Phoebe Styles.
Oh, what a bitch.
So, I will say here. One article said that Frank and Phoebe were already married.
Okay.
And I'm not really sure either way. It doesn't
I'm
matter.
sure records were
Yeah,
Not the
it's rough.
best.
But either way, Frank's in a relationship with both Phoebe and Mary.
Rude.
So Phoebe becomes pregnant. And Frank married her because Mary told him to.
Oh.
So they lived in Kentish Town in London, and Phoebe gave birth to a daughter named Phoebe Hogg.
Oh.
So yeah, Phoebe's.
That unfortunate last name, though.
So this is alleged.
Okay.
But again, because this case is from so long ago, information for this case is kind of everywhere. So anyways, on October 24th, 1890, Mary asked a boy named Willie Holmes to run an errand for her. She gave him a penny to deliver a note to Phoebe, the wife, to invite her to tea that afternoon. Around 4 p.m. that day, Charlotte Priddington, there's no L, Priddington, who was Mary's neighbor, heard sounds of glass breaking coming from the house and called over the fence to check that she was okay, but heard no reply. At 7 p.m., a woman's body was discovered lying on the pavement in Crossfield Road.
Oh.
It was found that the body had a huge gash in the throat and a fractured skull. I'll spare you all the details, but just know that this was a very violent murder.
Yikes.
Now, this is Phoebe's body that was found, but police haven't been able to identify her yet.
Oh. Was
So
she
they,
like that?
it was that bad.
Yikes.
So they just found this body.
Yeah, okay.
So that following morning, this is part's kind of sad, they found the body of a small child who died from suffocation.
Oh, come on, Mary.
Now, this was a weird part of this article, too. They said they're not sure if Mary killed the baby or if Phoebe's dead body, the mom's weight, killed the baby.
Oh, the baby was under her?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But they found it, like, separately.
How?
Well, she transports the bodies. I'll tell you a little bit.
Okay.
You'll be able to put the whole thing together. So we don't
Okay.
know if Mary actually killed
Okay.
the baby.
Okay.
She could have. It was suffocation.
Okay.
But there's a couple of versions of how this happened.
Okay.
So at the time, Frank and his sister Clara reported Phoebe and the daughter missing because they read about the bodies that were discovered in the paper. Frank asked Clara to go ask Mary to see if she's seen them. Clara does so, and Mary denies it, but agrees to go with Clara to the morgue to see if it was Phoebe's body. Now, it was noted that Mary's behavior at the morgue was strange. She tried to prevent Clara from identifying the body and became almost hysterical when Phoebe's injuries became apparent. So, police asked Mary and Clara to view the stroller they found. Clara confirmed that it was Phoebe's. A neighbor of Mary's then told the police that they saw Mary using the stroller to move a large object the evening of the murder. So, this is what's coming back.
Okay.
Phoebe, the baby's in the stroller. She murders the mom and puts the mom in the stroller. She's pushing it.
Yeah.
So did the mom's body
Yeah.
just suffocate the baby?
Yeah.
So Mary really didn't kill the baby, or did Mary suffocate the baby and put the baby
I feel
bomb
like
on top?
even if it was the first option, like she just set the I feel like knowing you put a heavy object on top of a baby.
I don't think it was like a thinking anything. I don't think she cared about the baby. I don't think she was like sparing its feelings. But that's just something that
I
people have
still
pointed
feel
out.
like it would be her fault.
Yeah.
Though. Even if she wasn't like thinking about it or like meaning to.
Yeah, definitely her fault either way.
Because it's like, I don't know, like she should know better still though to put like a heavy object on a baby.
Well,
She's
yeah.
24 years old. Like
Yeah. Well, she put a dead body on the baby. It's not like just an object. She put a body on the
the
baby.
mother's body.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
So that's where people are like,
either way.
they don't know if how many people Mary actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Or she assisted killing. I guess that could be wording.
Mm-hmm.
So police then informed Frank of the murders. But Frank was also a suspect at this moment.
Okay.
And then when they searched his house, they discovered a key. And that's when Frank finally came forward and said that the key went to Mary's house and he's been having an affair before and during his marriage with Phoebe. But they didn't find anything in the house or like anything that would make them believe Frank had anything to do with this.
Yeah.
But then, because they found the key, they learn about the affair. They go to interview Mary because of her behavior at the morgue. And now they know that she's been having an affair with Frank. So when they get to Mary's house, they find bloodstains and blood splatters in the kitchen,
Okay.
a bloody carving knife and fire poker, as well as 2 broken windows in the kitchen. And then while police were searching her house, Mary was sitting at the piano singing and whistling loudly and tried to say that the blood splatters were there because she was killing mice.
There's a big one.
I know. What?
What a creep. Could you imagine that face just sitting at the piano singing and whistling? It was her who whistled in my house.
Probably.
That makes sense.
So to no one's surprise, police didn't believe her. And they arrested her and charged her with both murders. So some theories of what happened that day have been thrown around. The first being that Mary had planned this when she found out that Phoebe was pregnant and became jealous that Frank wouldn't be with her fully. She would always be the other woman at this point. And then others believed that Phoebe did go over for tea that afternoon, that Phoebe might have said something that offended Mary, and that's what led to her death. Like, it was just a... I mean, you can lead up to her. She's already probably upset she doesn't get Frank fully.
Right.
She's like, yep, go marry her, whatever. But then, like,
and then
was
she
offended.
Share with the baby. And
and then that was it. Then what she could have said, no one knows, because at the end of the day, we don't really know if Phoebe even knew that Frank was having an affair.
Right.
I mean, Phoebe's gone.
Right.
Frank admitted the affair after the house was searched. But Phoebe could have known and, like, confronted her about it. But I don't know about that either, because if I was, like, pissed off, like, if you were having an affair with my husband, okay, hypothetically, and then you invite me over for tea, but I know, why would I go?
Why would you go? I feel like it's more likely she's luring her in and has the plan.
Yep.
And hearing you say that makes me think even more that she killed the baby on purpose. Because I think she was just trying to get rid of all the ties Frank had to.
Oh, I can't see her being like, oh, well, let's keep the baby. Why?
Right. Yeah. No.
So Mary was charged with murder. She maintained her innocence throughout the entire trial, and she was hanged on December 23rd, 1890, and she was around 24 years old. Damn. So we'll never know, but it's been thrown that obviously something going on if Mary wanted to murder someone and her strange behavior. People today who look at her case wonder if maybe she had a personality disorder.
I could see that.
And what's odd for some people is that, like, Mary was a first-time offender. There was no evidence of previous convictions or of violence.
Before? Okay,
no, they found nothing. But her father was also convicted for murder, and when he was in charge and executed, again, Mary was only 14, so maybe her father's death really did take a toll on her, and that was, like, the depression, drinking heavily.
Yeah.
But another thing that was brought up is that her relationship with her family. An article said that she still had a mother and, like, an older sister, but she left to go live with the John guy. So, like, we don't even know, like, what happened between them.
Okay.
But Dad's executed. I don't know how long she went there, but, like, late teens, she's with the John guy.
Yeah.
But she had a mom and a sister the entire time.
Right. But I feel like that's also what people did back then. Like, they got married in their teens and like.
Right, but she was never married.
Oh, she didn't marry him.
I don't know, she didn't marry John. She just took his last name.
Oh, I thought they were married.
No.
Oh, well, that is kind of weird. Why didn't she marry? Well, I don't know. That's weird.
I don't know.
But I just wondered, too, about her dad. Did her dad snap, or did he have any violence? Because that makes me think it could be like a mental illness that runs in the family, or
that's
like
what
anger.
people are looking at, and that personality disorder, maybe. So, this is the last thing.
Okay.
It was thrown around for a while that Mary Percy was a contender as being Jack the Ripper. There isn't a lot of evidence.
What?
It's just it was the right time era
Jackie
in
the
London.
Yeah.
And it was just thrown around that maybe it could have been
That would be wild.
could have been her.
I could see that. Well, did the murder stop once she died?
I think it was just like
Just like the time period.
The time period. You know, people are throwing out who could it be?
I would love to know who that really was, though. That's like one of the big ones, obviously, for like most people.
Yeah.
We never talked about how the Delphi case, didn't we? Did we talk about it? How he was caught?
Yeah.
We
we did.
Okay, because I was thinking about that the other day, because that was one of the true crime cases that I'm like, I need to see that solved in my life.
Yeah, no, we did talk about that one.
Okay, good.
But no, Jack the Ripper is one of them. But Mary was
another
thrown
one
around. Not a lot of information about her.
And John Benet Ramsey. I need to know what happened.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. That was a good story.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're going to start on January 2nd, 2000 in Detroit. The Detroit police receive a call from a man who claimed to have found a body floating in the Rogue River. The man explained that he was walking on the bridge and felt that he was going to be sick. While leaning over the edge of the bridge, he saw a body. Ooh. The dead woman turned out to be Wendy Jordan, a drug addict and sex worker whose family reported her missing a few days earlier. She had been strangled, and the man who had called the police was named John Eric Armstrong. Now, we're going to go back to 1973.
Oh.
And learn a little bit more about John Armstrong. So John was born on November 23rd. He was raised in North Carolina with a younger brother and his two parents. Now, this is really sad. Trigger warning. Infant loss and suicide. Mm. His little brother died when he was only 2 months old from sudden infant death syndrome. Oh. And John took the death really, really hard. He was only 5 years old at the time. And he was already having a hard time with his parents, as his dad was being verbally abusive, physically abusive, and there are some reports that he was being sexually abused. Because of the stress of everything that he had endured by the age of 5, he attempted suicide at 5 years old.
Oh, my God.
Yes. He rode his bike into a very busy street, but he did survive the attempt, and his father had left the family shortly after.
That's so...
Isn't that fucking horrible?
That's so sad.
Like,
a 5-year-old.
5-year-old. Like, I didn't even know that, like, a kid that small could have, like, that thought. I just popped off another nail.
No.
Sorry. But that's just fucking horrible. Horrible. Okay, so now we're going to go forward a little bit to the age of 15. Armstrong was struggling in school. A female classmate had tried to force him to have sex with her, and he ended up locking himself, like, in a bathroom to get away from her. Like, she would not stop. Like, she was trying to force him in the bathroom, and he managed to lock himself in and get away from her. But after this incident, this was really, really hard on him, especially being a survivor of past abuse. And he actually ended up spending a month away at a mental health facility. 1 year later, he finally received professional help for the death of his brother. So he was finally starting to get some therapy and work on, working through all these horrible instances of his childhood.
Okay.
In 1992, his high school girlfriend broke up with him for a guy that gave her a lot of gifts. Like, that was the reason she left him. Just, like,
a business card.
A business card. And he did not handle the breakup well. Like, this was just the one person he had. And he considered the guy he lost her to his enemy. It really got to him. And it actually became one reason why he really, really hated prostitutes. Okay?
Oh.
Because he considered the time that prostitutes, like, spent with other men, like, the money, like, he associated that with gift giving. Okay, so he, like, became obsessed with this. Okay. Because his girlfriend, left him for... No! Because his girlfriend left him for a man who could give her money and a lot of gifts. Okay. But after that, nevertheless, he graduated high school and he joined the Navy. He served his time with little to no issues and received 5 medals for good conduct. And during this time, he did have classes about how to keep prostitutes away while on duty, which sounds weird, but I don't know about a class, but I know at least for Lucas, like, being in the Marine Corps, they do talk about that when they're, like, getting ready to deploy. Even though a lot of them still fucking do it. Like, I know, a lot of people who did. Not my husband. Not my husband. But he knows of people personally who paid for prostitutes over in other countries because, I don't know, it's just, I don't know why it's so big with the military. It's really gross. So they talk about that a lot. I want to take out the word prostitutes. I'm going to say sex workers. I should have corrected that in my research. The one thing I will say about his time in the Navy, because, he had good conduct, 5 medals, his bunkmate did have a little bit of a different perspective. He claimed that Armstrong was often angry. Armstrong complained about awful headaches frequently and would get in terrible moods and throw fits around the room. So that's a little bit about his earlier years. He did end up being not dishonorably. He was honorably discharged. And did end up marrying and had children. Okay, so we're going to fast forward to 2000 when he made the call about the body. Yeah. Now, the Detroit police found his story to be deeply suspicious, and they put him under surveillance because it was just random. It was just weird how he called. Like, there was something in it that they found just weird.
Okay.
After collecting DNA and various fibers from the victim, they visited Armstrong at his home, and with his consent, they took fibers from his vehicle and a blood sample. The test showed a definite match.
Oh.
Prosecutors delayed an arrest warrant until they had an official and final report from the lab. However, during that time, he managed to kill 2 more people. They found 2 more bodies. Yep.
Were they both
Sex workers.
as well?
Yes,
Okay.
sex workers. So I'm so sorry. 3 more bodies were found.
Wait, what?
In this time. Sorry. Yes.
Okay, so 4 total.
Yes.
Wow.
4 total. And this is the time gap from January to the morning of April 10th. 3 more bodies were found in various stages of decomposition. Yes. By that evening, a task force was set up and they began talking to sex workers in the area. Now, these sex workers described a baby-faced man who, after sex, would go crazy and attempt to strangle them in his Jeep. The police made the connection to Armstrong, which it just sucks that it took that long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On April 12th, he was arrested. The same day that he was arrested is when the lab confirmation came back confirming his link to that first victim.
Oh.
Yep, so it was in that time. Now, when they brought him in for questioning, he was very adamant he did not do this. He was very, very adamant. But as the time went on, he broke down. There was an overwhelming pile of evidence, and he just lost it. And all the years of torment finally broke free, and Armstrong's mental state began to collapse, police said. He expressed remorse several times and was crying like a baby, said the police chief, Marvin Winkler. Basically, he told us he either killed or tried to kill every sex worker he had had sex with. Even though the Detroit police had linked Armstrong to the 3 bodies found in the railroad yard, they had no idea at the time that he might have been the farthest roaming serial killer in history in custody.
Wow.
Because Armstrong then told police that he had killed women in Washington State, Hong Kong, Thailand, Hawaii, and the Middle East during his time in the Navy.
Oh.
Now, we're going to go into a few of these killings. So, in Seattle, he said he killed a man after an argument. He said he also killed 2 sex workers there as well, according to police's initial reports. Another sex worker was murdered in Spokane. All in all, Armstrong, between his arrest Wednesday and his arraignment on Friday, he shared details about killing as many as 30 people. 30. This was in, I'm so sorry. In one of those murders was a murder in Norfolk, Virginia, which Armstrong's confessions revitalized that stalled murder investigation because it was cold. Like, they had no leads. So this is that murder. The body of a 34-year-old woman was found in Norfolk on March 5th, 1998, 4 days after he had docked in the town only 12 miles away. So he was in the area in the Navy at the time. Lynette Hillig, who had a string of sex worker-related arrests, was discovered behind a bingo parlor, sexually assaulted, placed provocatively, and that was kind of his thing. When he placed bodies, he placed them provocatively in provocative positions and nude. And he told them that he strangled the woman and then drove her over with his Jeep, which is exactly how they found her body. Yeah. But despite all these claims in all these different countries, police could really only confirm the 5 in Michigan and the 1 in Norfolk, I believe.
Okay.
And so he was convicted of these 5 murders, the murders of Kelly Jean Hood, Robin Brown, Rose Marie Felt, and Monica Johnson. But like I said, he was believed to have murdered at least 6 more women between 1992 and 1999. The other ones, they can't confirm because they were other countries and they can't find police records. And they honestly can't tell if he's just trying to get like all this glory of like the serial killer or if he's being honest. But to me, the way like his interviews and just the way he sounds, to me, it sounds like he's being truthful. And like I said, like with the military, just from what I know from like Marine Corps deployments, there are areas that it would be easy to have access to a sex worker. And not trying to condemn the whole fucking military. That sounds so bad that I'm saying it like that.
You are a military spouse. Like,
yeah, just from stories I've heard, and you know, even women that I know who were cheated on like during the time that their husbands were deployed. Like there are areas, and like Lucas told me, like his superiors would tell him, "You don't go to this part of town. If we catch you there, you're in big fucking trouble," because that is like known for sex work. I mean, it's easy to get to. It's easy to participate in, and also very common. In these, you know, it's a different country, especially like in the Middle East. They don't have protection. Even sex workers here are in incredible danger. Imagine being in another country and these men just come and go. You know, they're only there for like 2 weeks, sometimes even shorter. Sometimes they only dock for like 2 days. Right. And the guys get leave and they can go do what they want in the town. Right. You know, like it just seems possible to me that this happened. So, and yeah, that's the story of John Eric Armstrong. He's serving his life sentence, and he could have killed, they know, at least 11, could have killed up to 30 people.
Wow.
Yeah. It's fucked. I never heard of that either. And it was in Detroit where, yeah, it's crazy. And his wife claims that like she had no idea about any of it. Okay. And she was trying to give him an alibi for that day, but he must have done it pretty quickly. Like it just didn't add up. So it's really fucked up.
Wow.
I know.
Well, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Oh my gosh, I hope I wasn't out of that. I was like this the whole time. Sorry. Sorry, guys. I always forget. Yeah. Maybe when we set up at your new spot, we'll be able to change the cameras a little bit. I'll bring my lights.
There you go.
Because there's no point putting them up now.
No.
Goodbye, pod room.
I know. It's nice knowing you.
I bet your mom's pod room won't be cold, though. It won't be hot, though.
It'll be cold.
Nice.
Nice and cold.
I'm going to bring a sweater.
Join us next week.
Yeah, next week. Don't know what we're doing yet, but we're going to figure that out in a minute. I'm going to go get my planner.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
Goodbye.
See ya.